So I recently decided to reconfigure my amateur radio rig. The problem was that I had too much signal interference in my home, so I wanted to have a rig which I could take somewhere where there wasn't as much interference. I didn't want to buy anything new, so therefore I put my current equipment in a somewhat portable box. The only difference is that we can see on the outside is that there are these two HF connectors. One over here on the side and one here on the front. If we open up the box, we can see that there's both the radio, tuner, battery pack, antennas, and some other small stuff. If we start with the battery, which is located here underneath the radio panel, it's protected by just some plastic so it doesn't get poked at, because it's a RC Hobby lithium polymer battery, which are both sensitive to pressure and punctures, and they can start a fire. That has to be protected with some plastic. The downside with using this RC Hobby battery is that it only has a working voltage of 11.1 volts, which is a bit low for the radio, which expects 13.8 volts in an optimal condition. So I might change this battery to a lithium ion battery, which has a higher working voltage, which therefore is more suitable to the radio. If we move along from the battery, we can see that there is this XT60 connector. After that, it moves on to a standard, I think it's a 20 amp fuse in that one right now. And then it goes off to two more of these XT60 connectors. This is what I use to completely unpower the rig. And there's also on both sides of the connector low ESR capacitors, because they're probably good to have. You can also notice that there is a small switch right there. Now this switch, there's an extra pin here on the cable, which you can see, or actually cable. It tells the radio that it's operating on a battery pack, or if it's operating on a fixed power supply. If it's operating on a battery pack, it will decrease the brightness of the LED, or completely actually turn off the backlight on the LCD screen in an attempt to conserve power. The radio, which is the Yaesu FT-857d, and the tuner is a LDG YT-100, I think it's called, are all connected up here on the back. So if we look over here, we can see that there is this is the HF connector right here, which goes off through a ferrite off to the tuner's input, and then out to the tuner's output. Moves along through another ferrite off to the connector you saw on the side. There is an HF, or sorry, rather a VHF and UHF connector, which goes up on the top of the box and through two ferrites. This one has a standard low frequency, and the white one is a high frequency ferrite core, and then off to the connector. The idea with this one being mounted up here is that you can take this antenna, which was included in the box, and just screw it on like so. I've probably gone a bit overkill and grounded everything beyond what's necessary. You can see there's a ground wire right here, which goes off to the radio as well. You can see that one right there, and then off to the side of the box and to the connector. But you know, grounding is good, so why not? There's also here, you can see the cable which goes from the radio to the tuner. And I also have a small box of other stuff which is good to have. I have a lithium battery alarm and voltmeter, so it'll sound an alarm if the voltage becomes too low on the lithium polymer battery, which would be damaging to the battery. I also have an I think it's a UHF to N connector. Now the purpose of this is that I can remap the outputs, so I can connect so that what this is would normally the HF output, and the one up on top is the UHF and VHF, is that I can make it so that zoom out here instead, I can make it so that there is the HF signal goes over here instead. The purpose is that I can take, for example, these smaller HF antennas. This is a 27 megahertz antenna. Or if I were to have some other low frequency antennas, I can just put them nice and cute up on top, like so. So therefore I have that connector so I can reconfigure what goes to where. I also have some other connectors which are adapters, which are good to have on hand. There's a pen and a notebook. So yeah, that's the portable rig which I assembled. Everything is designed to be modular, so everything is just connected to string, so I can easily remove everything if I would want to take stuff out and reconfigure things or whatnot. Nothing's permanently mounted. That's about it. Thanks for watching.